Have you ever wondered why your blood pressure keeps creeping up, even though you don't feel stressed and you're taking your medication exactly as prescribed? I had a patient, Mrs. Alvarez, 67 years old, who walked into my office frustrated. Her blood pressure had gone from 125 to 147 in just 3 months. And here's the thing. She hadn't changed a single pill. But when we looked at her daily habits, we found something surprising. It was the food. Not fast food, not restaurant meals. Just simple, everyday things from her own kitchen. A few slices of deli meat, a can of soup, a handful of salted crackers before bed. These are the silent culprits, foods that don't look dangerous, but can silently raise your blood pressure day after day. If you're over 60, your body processes salt, fat, and preservatives differently. And what seems normal on your plate might be fueling a silent storm inside your arteries. So today, I'm going to walk you through 6 common foods that can raise your blood pressure, and most people never realize it. I'm Dr. Ethan Wells, and on this channel, I help people over 60 stay strong, sharp, and independent, one smart health choice at a time. If you're watching from Florida, California, or anywhere across the country, I'd love to know. Have you ever noticed your blood pressure going up, even when you thought you were eating pretty healthy? Leave a comment below. Your story might help someone else realize they're not alone. And if this is your first time here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I'm here every week, bringing you practical, science-backed advice, no hype, no fluff, just real tools to help you live better after 60. Now, today's topic matters more than most, because high blood pressure isn't just about numbers on a screen. It's one of the leading causes of heart attacks, strokes, and kidney failure in seniors. And sometimes, the very foods we think are safe are quietly pushing our pressure higher. Let me tell you about Mr. Simmons. He's 72 years old, retired, and loves his homemade ham sandwiches. He came in last spring with blood pressure sitting around 158/96. That's high enough to damage his kidneys, his eyes, even his brain. But he didn't feel anything. No headaches, no chest pain. In fact, he told me, "Doc, I feel fine. I just get a little tired in the afternoon." And that's the dangerous part. High blood pressure often has no symptoms at all until it causes a heart attack or stroke. Here's what most people don't realize. As we age, our blood vessels stiffen. Our kidneys filter slower. Our arteries become more sensitive to salt, sugar, and preservatives. Foods that might have been harmless at 40 become risky at 65. And when we eat these common but sneaky foods like processed meats, salty snacks, or instant noodles, our blood pressure can creep up silently, week by week. According to the CDC, nearly 2/3 of adults over 60 have high blood pressure, but fewer than half of them have it under control. And when blood pressure stays high, day after day, here's what happens. The heart muscle thickens. The arteries become narrow and brittle. The risk of stroke doubles with every 20-point rise above 120 systolic. I've had patients who ended up with memory loss, vision problems, even amputations because they didn't take their blood pressure seriously. But here's the good news. In many cases, you can lower your blood pressure naturally by simply adjusting what's on your plate. 1. Processed meats, ham, bacon, deli turkey, salami. Why it matters? Processed meats are among the top contributors of sodium in the American diet, especially dangerous for seniors with reduced kidney filtration capacity. Clinical insight. A single 2-ounce serving of deli turkey can contain 600–800 mg of sodium. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 1,500 mg per day for people with high blood pressure, meaning one sandwich may already exceed half your limit. Mechanism. Excess sodium increases extracellular fluid volume, raises cardiac output, and enhances arterial stiffness. In older adults, the baroreceptor sensitivity is reduced, meaning the body is slower to respond to blood pressure spikes. Doctor's advice. Cook unprocessed meats at home. Choose low-sodium, nitrate-free options and avoid smoked or cured products. Be especially cautious if you're on diuretics. Sodium retention can worsen electrolyte imbalance. 2. Pickled and fermented vegetables. Pickles, kimchi, sauerkraut. Why it matters. Though fermented foods may support gut health, many commercially available versions are packed in high-sodium brine. Clinical insight. Just one medium dill pickle can contain over 1,000 mg of sodium, nearly 70% of a senior's daily target. Mechanism. In older adults, the kidneys excrete sodium more slowly. Excess salt raises plasma osmolality, triggering vasopressin release and increasing water retention, thereby elevating blood pressure chronically. Doctor's advice. Rinse store-bought pickles, or better yet, ferment your own using lower sodium solutions. If you have hypertension and CKD stage 2-3, even healthy fermented foods may need to be limited. 3. Instant noodles and packaged soups. Why it matters? Convenience comes at a cost. Most instant foods are extremely high in sodium, saturated fat, and MSG, all of which negatively affect cardiovascular regulation. Clinical insight. 1 Pascal ket of instant noodles, 1,700, 2,000 milligrams sodium. 1 can of chicken noodle soup, approximately 1,200 milligrams sodium per serving, and often contains 2 servings per can. Mechanism. High sodium content causes endothelial dysfunction and impairs nitric oxide production, reducing arterial elasticity. MSG can transiently raise blood pressure by stimulating sympathetic nervous activity. Doctor's advice. Avoid prepackaged, just add water meals. Use low-sodium broth alternatives, 140 mg, serving, and prepare your own soups with fresh herbs, potassium-rich veggies, like spinach, squash, to support BP control. 4. Processed cheese products, slices, spreads, American cheese. Why it matters. These products are often overlooked as blood pressure culprits, but combine sodium, saturated fat, and emulsifying agents that increase vascular resistance. Clinical insight. 1 slice of American cheese equals 350–450 mg sodium plus 6 grams saturated fat. Excessive saturated fat intake raises LDL cholesterol, which accelerates vascular aging, a double burden with high blood pressure. Mechanism. Sodium increases intravascular volume, while saturated fat promotes plaque formation and stiffens arterial walls, compounding hypertension risk. Doctor's advice. Limit intake to 1 ounce day of natural cheeses, e.g. part skim mozzarella, ricotta. Completely avoid cheese spreads, shelf-stable cheese products, or powdered cheese in snacks. 5. Salty snacks, chips, crackers, pretzels, salted nuts. Why it matters. These mindless munching foods are deceptively high in sodium and often consumed in front of the television, where quantity goes unchecked. Clinical insight. 1 ounce of plain potato chips equals 180 milligrams sodium. Lightly salted versions still pack 150 milligram per ounce, which adds up fast when portion control is poor. Mechanism. Frequent sodium spikes throughout the day raise baseline BP over time. In the elderly, chronic salt overload also disrupts nocturnal dipping patterns, keeping blood pressure high during sleep, which is linked to stroke risk. Doctor's advice. Switch to raw or lightly roasted unsalted nuts, almonds, walnuts. Use herbs or potassium-based salt substitutes in snacks, if not contraindicated by CKD. Avoid eating directly from the bag, always portion. 6. High caffeine beverages. Energy drinks, strong coffee. Why it matters. Caffeine sensitivity increases with age due to slower hepatic metabolism. This means caffeine stays longer in your system and has more pronounced effects. Clinical insight. 1 cup of brewed coffee equals approximately 150 milligram caffeine. 1 energy drink equals up to 300 milligram caffeine plus stimulants like taurine, guarana, ginseng. Mechanism: caffeine blocks adenosine receptors, increases catecholamine release, adrenaline, norepinephrine, and stimulates vasoconstriction and increased cardiac output, especially in the early hours when cortisol levels are already high. Doctor's advice: limit caffeine to 200 milligrams day. Avoid combining with decongestants or stimulants. For those with labile hypertension or arrhythmias, decaf or herbal alternatives, chamomile, rooibos, are preferred. If you were sitting in my office right now, here's exactly what I'd tell you, especially if you're over 60 and already dealing with high blood pressure. First, I know it's not easy. You've spent decades building your habits, your favorite meals, your comfort foods, and now someone's telling you to change them? I get it, but I've seen both ends of this story. Patients who made simple adjustments, switching out their processed meats, cutting back on salty snacks, and swapping their evening coffee for herbal tea, some of them dropped their systolic pressure by 10 to 15 points in just weeks. Others who ignored the warnings? I've had to visit them in the hospital after a stroke, or adjust their medications again and again while their kidneys struggled to keep up. Here's what I want you to remember. You don't need a perfect diet. You just need a little more awareness, a little more balance. Try this. Pick 2 foods from today's list that you eat most often. For the next 2 weeks, replace them with a healthier version. Write down how you feel. Track your blood pressure at home if you can. That's how real change begins. Not with guilt or fear, but with small, informed steps. And if you're ever unsure about a food, bring it to your next checkup, ask your doctor, or leave me a comment. I read every one of them. You deserve to enjoy your meals and protect your heart. Let's wrap this up with one simple truth. What you eat after 60 isn't just about energy or taste, it's about protection. Protection for your heart, your brain, your independence. Today, we uncovered 6 common foods that can silently raise your blood pressure, foods that seem harmless, but aren't. But remember, this isn't about fear. It's about knowledge and small, powerful choices. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments, which of these foods surprised you the most? Or what's one change you're willing to try this week? And if you found this helpful, I encourage you share this video with someone you care about, your spouse, a friend, a parent, because sometimes just knowing what's on your plate can change what's in your future. And if you're serious about taking control of your blood pressure, don't miss my next video. I'll be revealing the 5 overlooked habits that sabotage blood pressure, even if you eat well. I'm Dr. Ethan Wells, and I'll be here every week, helping you live smarter, longer, and stronger. See you in the next video.